So hello there everyone and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for me to bring you yet another video here on this channel. Today I'm going to be bringing you something, I mean, there's been a trend, hasn't there, recently? I know FIFA 18 it's not out yet, but here I am making 74 videos a week discussing things looking ahead to the future, and that is again what we're going to be doing today. But I want to upload these videos, and I think you guys enjoy them as well, and it's always good to try and get a step ahead of the game, if you like, before the games actually come out, so you can be prepared and you can do what you want to enjoy. And hopefully I'm going to be bringing you that to you in a sense today. I'm basically going to be going over career mode challenges that you should definitely try throughout the cycle of FIFA 18 career mode. Now what I mean by that is types of career mode saves that are unique, that have a storyline, that have some sort of reason to do them. If you've gone to enjoy the video, then slap a like on it, subscribe if you're new to the channel as well, social media links are in the description if you really want to follow me over there. But yeah, this is going to be a good one. I think I've got a list of 7 things that you should try. Now also as well, Rich Lee, a YouTuber who is just sick, and one of my good mates, he did a video a little bit similar to this before. It's not quite the same thing. He was saying, you know, different things you should try to do, not necessarily challenges you should try to do, but regardless of that, you should go and check that video out. Links to it are in the description, and there'll also be a card at the top right of the screen as well towards the end of this one, where you can go and check that out. Massive shout out and subscribe, of course, whilst you're over there. Regardless of that, we're going to get into this because I've been talking for too long already. So the first one is a pretty obvious one. In fact, it's an entire genre on YouTube these days, and that is the YSL, or Youth Players Style career mode, where in essence you can literally only use youth players. You can only use youth academy or regen players as well. So you can only use players that aren't real, generated players by the game, either through the youth academy system or via regens that go into the free agents pool, or regens that end up at other clubs as well. This is a really fun one because it is quite rewarding when you actually do well. Obviously these types of career modes are best with the sort of smaller teams where you can actually go up through divisions, so it's best to do one of these with like a League 2 side, or even, you know, a second tier French team, a second tier Italian or Spanish team, and of course now the German league has 3 tiers even. You can use a 3rd division German team for this sort of thing as well. So you get your youth academy together, you sell all the real players over the course of maybe 1 season, 2 transfer windows, get in some scouts, and then basically get them to scout youth academy players, get a youth academy together, try and get a squad of 18 together. It'll be difficult, but try and get a squad of 18 youth academy players or regens together for that 2nd season, and then just go from there and play it as a normal career mode from there. And you're only allowed to use those players. You're not allowed to sign any real players or use any once you've actually done that 2nd season. And now, interestingly enough, there are quite a few YouTubers who do this type of thing. I'll leave their links in the description, but Cutsy, Sparring DK, Bama Striker 9, there's plenty of others as well. Cutsy as well actually during the course of this game started introducing his own rules as well, where he could only sign players with a certain potential if he was in a certain league. That makes it a bit more realistic, because if you're in League 2, you're not exactly going to be signing the hottest Spanish prospect, are you? Do you know what I mean? So obviously at that point in the career mode, you're only allowed to sign players maybe with a max potential of 80 or 75 even, if it's going to be really extreme. And then when you get to the Premier League, you're allowed to sign those wonder kid players. So that's something to keep in mind, something to make it a little bit more challenging, and definitely a type of career mode that I'll be trying. I might not be uploading, but something I'll be trying off screen. Moving on from that, it's something else that's been done a lot recently by one of my good friends, Jared, but the rebuild style career mode, which is similar in the sense that it's a road to glory once again, or in some instances, a return to glory. It's mainly sim-based, which I think is what a lot of people quite like. You don't necessarily have to spend loads of time playing games. It's something you can get through in a pretty short space of time. If I'm honest, it's kind of like a normal career mode, but it's accelerated massively. So everything happens just a ton quicker. It's like a speed run. So you obviously sign it. I think what's good about it is the emphasis is on signing players, which is often what people love so much. And obviously, if you don't know what a rebuild is, basically you take maybe a Road to Glory style team, like a lower division team. You basically just sim through seasons, just constantly, You sim every game, and then you sign players. So when you're in League 2, you sign, really young prospect players, and obviously the quality of players that you sign gets better as you rise through the divisions, etc. In essence, it's a normal road to glory, but you just sim everything, and the goal is to win the Champions League at the end. That will be the only game that you play. So once you get into the Champions League, you're not allowed to play any games to reach that Champions League final, but once you do reach it with a star-studded squad that you built up during that time, you then play that final game, and if you win, that's the rebuild complete. If you lose, you've got to go again. So that's definitely something to try, and something that's become very mainstream recently with Jared doing that wonderful series recently throughout this game cycle. So the third one that we're going to talk about in this video is the Athletic Club Challenge, or the Athletic Bilbao Challenge. I mean, people from Spain always get annoyed when I call them Athletic Bilbao, but that's just what they're called in England, so I'm afraid you're going to have to deal with it. But the Athletic Club Challenge, now, for those that don't know, this also works with Real Sociedad as well, but Sociedad and Bilbao are based in the Basque region of Spain, which I think is in northern Spain. Is it near France? I don't know. Who even knows? Well, obviously people from Spain and the Basque region will know, but I don't know is what I'm trying to say. But basically what this type of career mode is going to be is you're going to take one of those two teams and you're going to sign only players from the Basque region. Now, it'll take a bit of research. You do get a bit of help naturally because Basque players or people from the Basque region have quite different names to traditional Spanish people. Spanish people have very, well, Spanish names. People from the Basque region have quite complex second names. The people like Agrechi and Itaraspe and Arrizabalaga are all players from the Basque region. Then, do you get what I'm saying? They're not traditional Spanish names, so that's something that you can look at if you're thinking, oh, is that guy is from the Basque region? So basically, this challenge is that you're allowed to be Bilbao or Sociedad only, and you're only allowed to sign players from that region of Spain, or only allowed to sign players, that are playing for a team in that region already. So if you're Bilbao and you really want to sign someone from Sociedad, but you're not sure whether they're from the Basque region, you can still sign them because they're playing in a team based in the Basque region. Now, the next one is one that I really do quite like, and this is the Financial Troubles style career mode. In essence, you look at, there's certain teams around, obviously, there's been some sad sort of declines for English teams especially, but obviously teams elsewhere around the world. But the ones that spring to mind really recently are the likes of Portsmouth, Blackpool, Leyton Orient, Hull City as well have got, pretty shocking owners and aren't really able to spend too much money. And this is the same type of situation, it's the same type of storyline where basically in the Financial Trouble style career mode, you're only allowed to spend a certain amount per season. So maybe you're not allowed to, I don't know, maybe you're not allowed to lose any cash. So you can only make profit, or you can only break even. So if in order to sign a player for 20 mil, you have to sell a player for 20 million. Or, in a different sense, you have to have like a transfer budget cap. You can only spend £10 million per season. You can only spend £5 million per season, or £5 million per transfer window, etc. I think it would be quite cool. It means you have to be very savvy, you have to be very stingy as well with your cash, and you've got to rely on the likes of pre-contract agreements, free agents, and also youth academy players as well. Those would be ways of getting around it, obviously, but in terms of actually spending cash, you're only allowed to spend maybe £10 million per season, £5 million per season if you're feeling very harsh. That is one that I definitely want to try, because I think it would be very difficult, and it would also be quite a long-term project. The fifth one is the youngsters only style career mode, so you're only allowed to have players in your side that are of a certain age or below. Example here is maybe 24. So every single player in your side has to be 24 or below, is what I'm trying to say. Or, whatever age you decide to have it at. It means there's a lot of chopping and changing, there's constant chopping and changing, because as you progress, you're having to sell maybe a player that's been so instrumental for you for 3 seasons, but they're now 25. You've got to sell them, and then you've got to find a replacement. And it's just a constant evolution of a team. And you're constantly signing players, constantly making transfers, which is something that obviously everyone likes to do. Sometimes you can hit a bit of a glass ceiling when you get, you've assembled your ultimate squad, and then you're like, well, apart from if a player wants to leave, there's not really much I can do with this anymore. That sort of prevents that from happening. I would definitely suggest going ahead and doing this type of thing. So that's the fifth one. Number 6, challenge number 6 is probably my personal favourite, if I'm honest, and that is the bankruptcy challenge. So, we're talking Parma level, okay? We're talking choose a team like PSG or Monaco or Manchester City, a team that has a lot of money, I don't know, they've broken financial fair play. Their owners have decided to just sack it off, and they've left you with nothing. Your team's got nothing. What you've got to do, right, is you've got to sell all your best assets. So if you're Manchester City, you've got to sell Aguero, you've got to sell De Bruyne, you've got to sell the best players in your side, and you've got to find a way to waste that money, okay? So, because it's going to fall apart, the whole bankruptcy thing's going to fall apart if you sell all those players and you've got like 700 million in transfer budget just to replace them. You've got to drain all that, so you've got to do that by either signing loads of scouts or by signing players and then releasing them straight away for ridiculous amounts of money and then releasing them. So sign a 60 overall player for like 700 million and then release him, basically. So you've got a really small budget, you've got a really tight budget, you've got like no players left whatsoever, and if possible, relegate them. Relegate the team to a lower tier of that country. So if you're playing in England and you're choosing Manchester City to do this bankruptcy challenge with, relegate them to League 2, like would happen in real life. Obviously, I know it's not quite the same thing, but Juventus got done, was it for match fixing? I can't remember, and their punishment was to be relegated. Rangers, this is definitely the same thing. Rangers went into liquidation in, I want to say like 2011, 2012, something like that, and they got relegated to the third tier of Scottish football, fourth tier even, I think, of Scottish football. So it's the same thing as that, and honestly, this would be sick, because it's ironic as well. Teams like PSG and Monaco are known for having so much money. It's a rebuild series, it's like a road to glory, but with an actual storyline behind it, and with a traditionally big team, like it's a return to glory, if you like. So that is something that I'm definitely going to be trying on FIFA 18 Career Mode, and I think it would be the most entertaining out of all of these. The final one, though, is a slightly harsh one, if I'm honest with you, and that's because of the name. It's cool, I'm quite proud of it, though. It's the Southampton Special. Now, I realise Southampton aren't the only team to do what I'm about to explain, but this is basically where every single season, you've got to sell your best player. So, I mean, you might have, you know, a very good side. You might have a team where you've got a player who's 86, and then you've got several players who are 85 and 84 and whatever, but at the end of the season, you've got to sell that 86 rated player. You've just got to, because this is what Southampton do all the time. And this makes it more of a challenge as well, because you can't just keep your best players constantly. Also, Southampton are not the only team to do that, but they're traditionally known for having to sell all their best players because their players move on, etc. So that's the final challenge, is that, you know, at the end of each season, you've got to sell your best rated player and then either try and replace them with the same amount of cash or whatever. And again, I think that the key to these challenges really, and the key to career modes and making them interesting for a long period of time, is keeping up transfer activity and keeping up having to do things, like, because it can get stale within the save because you've just got nothing to do anymore. You're just playing games, you're just simming games, whatever, because your team's good. It's like as good as it can be. Your youth academy's as good as it can be, blah blah blah, and that just sort of prevents that from happening. But that is basically it. Those are the 7 challenges: the YSL Rebuild Athletic Club Challenge, we've got the Financial Troubles Challenge, the Youngsters Only Challenge, Bankruptcy Challenge, and the Southampton Special. And you guys can feel free to try all of them on FIFA 18 Career Mode, because hopefully they'll all make the game cycle a little bit more interesting. You've got backstories and storylines, etc., and it should just make everything a little bit more fun. But if you've enjoyed that video and you're going to be trying some of these challenges, then make sure to smash the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let me know what was your favourite out of the challenges in this video by dropping a comment down in the comment section. You can follow me on Twitter as well. My handle is on the screen, links to her in the description. It is @theofficialfng, and so is my Instagram as well. Again, same handle there, @theofficialfng, and links to that are in the description as well. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a great day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.
Yo, Massapeals. I roll out with some monsters. Looks like your team and you watchers. I do not roll with imposters. Sound like the man in the Oscars. I'm drunk off Henny and Fosters. I have a career, I am jobless. This bitch f me so hard, I might just end up unconscious. I like girls in lingerie, especially if it is crotchless. Bitch, I am the bigger picture. There is no way you can crop it.